Can a wine region get any more beautiful than this? This is the Douro Valley, home to Portugal's most beloved wine region, considered the world's oldest demarcated and certified wine region. If you love wine and travel, well, it's a place you simply cannot miss. A living masterpiece of terraced vineyards carved into golden hills, sweeping down to embrace a river as mighty as it is timeless, the Douro. I've been here so many times now, and the Douro never fails to amaze me. It's one of my favorite parts of Portugal, and certainly one of the most picturesque of all Portuguese wine regions. But this time, this journey is different. This time, I'm not only revisiting the Douro, I'm sailing through the heart of it, to experience, to celebrate and immerse in the Douro through its amazing river. In testament to how deeply this region moves me, I've dedicated 2 entire episodes of the In the Mood for Douro to pay tribute to this valley, to those who shape it and to those who nurture it. The Douro is not just the most picturesque wine region in Portugal, it's a place where history, culture and the poetry of the landscapes weave themselves into the river. Where stoic wisdom graces the vineyards, and where man and nature have carved out a grand destiny to fill every glass with one of life's greatest pleasures, wine. Together with Salvador Sommelier, whose passion flows as richly as the wines of his homeland, we joined Riviera's MS Douro Splendour alongside Dave the River Cruise King and our fellow travel agents and colleagues, Erica and Chris Comiso and Ginny Gebhardt. Cheers! Both Salvador and I have been in the Douro a few times, navigating these valleys, scouting wine properties and vineyards, tasting some of the region's most stellar and unique wines. But we never got to experience Douro like this. This time, we're seeing the Douro from an incredible point of view, its river. From Porto's great riverfront, sailing upstream to Peso de Régua, Pinhão, Castelo, Rodrigo, and all the way across the border to Salamanca in Spain. And what we experienced was more than just a voyage. It was an immersion into the beauty, history, gastronomy, and above all, the wine that defines this land. Visiting the vineyard-dotted hillsides of the Douro, exploring cobbled medieval towns, going for unforgettable wine tastings and dinners that celebrate the soul of Portugal, and even get a taste of Spain on this trip. What a unique perspective to experience Douro like this. And I am so delighted to be able to come along on this cruise by Riviera on the MS Splendour, experiencing Douro like never before. And hopefully inspiring you to experience Douro exactly this way. Our journey begins in Porto. This stunningly panoramic city bears the great hallmarks of Portuguese culture, history and identity. Perched right at the mouth where the Douro River greets the Atlantic, this makes for a logical start and later the end to a river cruise. And of course, the city is home to an astonishing history of wines, especially the embankment across Porto, Vila Nova de Gaia, filled with cellars that bear the soul of port wine. We arrived in Porto the day before our cruise, and we immediately headed over to the river to visit a museum we've always longed to visit, the museum of the oldest appellation in the world, located at the newly renovated cellars of Real Companhia Velha, officially recognized as the oldest wine company in Portugal, founded in 1756 as a royal charter from the King of Portugal, under the leadership of the Marquês de Pombal, who officially demarcated the Douro region the same year. Here, you get to understand deeper the story of how Douro became the world's first officially demarcated and regulated wine region, how the Marquês de Pombal sought to protect the integrity of port, drawing boundary lines across the valley's hills and forever changing the course of wine history. This is a very informative and insightful museum, and it truly makes for a great tribute to the vision, legacy and the enduring spirit of the Douro. We also explored the facilities here, including tasting rooms, a wine shop and a fabulous bar and restaurant upstairs. Later that evening, we met with our group, and it was such a joy to see Dave, Erica, and Chris again, and celebrated this wonderful occasion with a gastronomic welcome at Tapa Bento, one of Porto's beloved restaurants, where we enjoyed every dish, every flavor packed into stunningly assembled plates, making this a delicious first dinner on our trip together.
Cheers.
And the next day is the big day. With the dazzling weather on our side, we dropped our luggage at the Riviera ship, the MS Splendour, and headed to our lunch appointment at Vinem Restaurant, one of our most favourite restaurants here in Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia. With a magical vantage point of Porto from a distance, this restaurant just gets it right all the time. Everything that was served on our table was oozing with refinement and flavours, from the appetizers to the delicious steak tartare and suckling pig. We were in food heaven. While Salvador paired our food with two incredible red wines that accompanied our meal harmoniously. You could say we couldn't have chosen a much better restaurant and this incredible view to toast our journey ahead. Then it's time to embark on our ship, to step aboard our floating home on this river cruise for the next 7 days, the MS Douro Splendour. To celebrate our embarkation, that afternoon our sommelier Salvador hosted a private tasting for us, an intimate celebration of Portuguese wines, specially chosen and curated from all over Portugal, representing the various and diverse Portuguese wine regions, ranging from Madeira, Alentejo, Beira Interior, Trás-os-Montes, and even a special fortified wine from Lisbon, specifically the sub-region of Carcavelos, one of the world's smallest demarcated wine sub-region. The beauty of this wine tasting is that guests get to taste underrated wines from lesser-known wine regions that most visitors wouldn't even get to taste on a regular visit. What's more, these special wines were paired with some excellent cheeses from all over Portugal, and Salvador gave us all a unique tasting and perspective, paired with his signature storytelling, giving depth to each wine we tasted. What an introduction to Portuguese wines, chosen beyond the familiar, to give us a taste beyond the wines of Douro, and this special onboard tasting by the sommelier Salvador truly sets the tone for what this week will be, a voyage of discovery and of the senses, as we immerse into the flavors and soul of Portugal. Afterwards, we checked into our lower deck cabin, unpacked our luggage and familiarized ourselves with the ship, freshened up for our first dinner on board, and then soaked in the evening atmosphere of Porto. The city glimmering like a jewel at night, the Douro River gently flowing at dusk, giving us an impossibly beautiful setting for our first evening on our Douro cruise adventure. I never expected the Douro to be this magical at sunrise. We woke up at daybreak to witness the ship sailing out of Porto, heading upstream in the river, and what an experience this was. Nighttime sailing isn't allowed in the Douro at night. The Douro is one of Europe's most dramatic and challenging rivers to navigate, and sailing here requires constant visibility, therefore making Douro a daytime river, where cruises typically sail during daylight, allowing anyone going for a river cruise here to enjoy the spectacular sceneries that the Douro uniquely offers. Apart from stunning scenery, we also got to experience navigating massive and stentorian locks, huge dam structures that lift us up and down the river with ease. We had plenty of free time as our ship sailed most of the day, so we got to really relax, be comfortable, and get to know more about our ship. Sailing aboard the MS Douro Splendour feels like stepping into a floating boutique hotel, purpose-built to navigate the twists and locks of the Douro with grace. This elegant vessel accommodates 126 guests with 63 cabins spanning across 3 decks, from cozy lower deck staterooms, where we stayed, with wardrobes and marble bathrooms, to spacious superior and deluxe balcony suites with panoramic windows and some with balconies. Life on board flows between relaxation and indulgence. The panoramic lounge and bar on the upper deck is a social heart, a place to sip wine and cocktails, gather for onboard activities, or simply watch the Douro's golden slopes drift by. The restaurant on the main deck serves constantly changing cuisine, blending local gastronomy and international flavors, from generous buffet breakfast to elegant lunches and 4-course dinners. And above all decks, I'd say the star of the show is the sun deck, inviting you outdoors with its 360-degree views, comfortable lounges, shaded cedar, and a sparkling heated swimming pool. A rare luxury in river ships. The outdoor deck alone seems designed to bring the Douro's beauty closer, where we spent copious amount of relaxing time just gazing out to Douro's endless views as we were surrounded by these terraced hills and extraordinarily beautiful vineyards that all make Douro a truly unique place, unlike any other in the world. It goes without saying, there's something meditative about sailing the Douro. The pace feels unhurried as the current itself. I realize sailing on the Douro isn't just a cruise, it's like witnessing poetry drifting by. As we glide past Régua and towards Pinhão, the river reveals its many moods. Calm and glassy one moment, dramatic and winding the next, and everywhere you look, terraces climb impossibly high, testimony to centuries of human devotion carved into stone and soil. Late that afternoon, we arrive in Pinhão, at the heart of Douro's demarcated wine region and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Welcome to the Douro. This is one of my favorite wine regions, not just in Portugal, but the entire world. This is Portugal's most quintessential wine country. I've been here many times now, and views like this just don't get old. Our first excursion is cruise is a vineyard visit and port wine tasting high up on the valley at Quinta de São Luiz, a historic wine property located high in the left bank between Régua and Pinhão, owned by the Kopke Group, and is the oldest port wine house in the entire Douro. As soon as we arrived, we were greeted with an extraordinary spectacle that's unmistakably Douro. We were guided around the property, walked amongst the vineyards that carry centuries of history. There's terraces and vines that are planted on schist slopes that rise up to 600 meters from the river. Here we learned that Kopke, the oldest port wine house in existence, acquired the estate at Quinta de São Luís in 1922, along with other surrounding quintas, or estates, creating an expanse of vineyards across 125 hectares. We walked around the wine cellar, both the traditional and the modern stand side by side, featuring schist rock walls that characterize the Douro. We got to taste some of the port wines, the Ruby and the Tawny Port, summing up this visit nicely as we then gaze into Douro's incredible landscape outside, thinking vineyards don't really get any more beautiful than this. We returned to our ship later that early evening to be greeted with a welcome cocktail. And a dinner to delight our senses and satisfy our hunger. Completing our stunning first full day in the Douro Valley. Our next morning began gently as our ship left Pinhão and glided upstream towards Vega, Terrón, where Portugal meets Spain. I enjoyed coffee on the deck while soaking in the views of the Douro. Every morning after breakfast, we normally get an excursion briefing from our cruise director, Diogo, and then followed by an activity in the lounge. This morning, it's a pastel de nata cooking demo, that iconic Portuguese custard tart that's been a rave for centuries. Our dear Erica volunteered to be a baker today along with the chef as we gathered to witness how it's done. A fun little demonstration that ends with, well, savouring a few of these delicious custard tarts. Outside, the Douro deepens. We spent the whole morning sailing, and throughout this time, we witnessed a different kind of Douro, one that you don't normally see on postcards or tour guides. Here, as we enjoy a long scenic sail through the upper reaches of the Douro Valley, entering the Douro Superior, where the valley widens, the mountains climbing high around us, the cliffs growing wilder. It's a peaceful sail, the kind that invites quiet contemplation as the landscape slowly transforms around you. Then the vineyards gradually fade, giving way to a landscape far more raw and untamed. Lush hills roll into deep valleys and rough-hewn gorges, with the presence of birds and other wildlife around. It feels almost like the land that time forgot, serene, unspoiled, and profoundly beautiful. This is truly one of the great privileges of river cruising, to journey deep into the heart of the Douro, into places you could never reach in a regular sailing boat. It's not just travel, but immersion, a slow-moving passage through nature's quiet grandeur. To no surprise, I found myself deeply moved by this part of the Douro, sailing this far upriver for the first time. The stillness here would humble anyone, a reminder of time and nature's quiet power. We enjoyed this time together with a gentle wine tasting in the deck to accompany Douro's majestic landscapes. Then we headed for a delicious lunch at the restaurant with appetizers, salads, and seafood. Soon we docked at Vega de Terrón, which is now in the Spanish part of the Douro. We journeyed inland across incredible landscapes to Castelo, Rodrigo, one of Portugal's aldeias históricas, ancient stone villages perched high above the plains. Its cobbled streets lead past weathered houses, medieval walls, and a castle ruin offering breathtaking views across the Spanish border, with its incredible wines and stunning landscapes. And it's good to be back in Castelo Rodrigo, one of the most historic villages offering sweeping views across a part of Portugal most people rarely ever see. Here we got to taste local products and produce, cherry liqueur, and my favorite, amarga, or almond liqueur, this region being known for producing high-quality almonds. Later, back on our ship, Eric and I played with our drones, capturing the spectacle around us, docked in the river that cradles two countries, Portugal and Spain sitting beside each other, sharing the majesty of the Douro. That evening, right after our Portuguese-themed dinner, with a classic Portuguese dishes and conventional desserts, we gathered for a special event in the lounge, the opening of a vintage port. Using a traditional hot tongue, the team heated the wine's bottleneck, and then using ice-cold water, the bottle cracked and cut smoothly. That night, we raised glasses of this port wine to the Douro, to its beauty, its vintage wines, and the vintage journeys like this. Our fourth day in the Douro gave us something different. The beauty of sailing in this river means we get to experience not only Portugal, but also its neighbouring country, where the Douro River originates, Spain. Somewhere along this Douro's eastern edge is a stunning city that has remained in our hallowed history as Spain's La Dorada, or the Golden City. This is Salamanca. Right, we are in the city of Salamanca, known as La Dorada, or the Golden City, one of Spain's oldest and most beautiful university cities. Luckily, this is part of our itinerary in our Douro River Cruise, given that this is 2 hours drive beyond the rolling vineyards of the Douro Valley. We get a full day here to explore the city, and that's what makes this trip super interesting, because not only we're soaking in the beauty of Douro and Portugal, but we also get a taste of Spain on this trip. So come with us, we'll show you Salamanca. All right, Sal, what are you most excited about Salamanca?
I'm excited about the wines, of course.
And right on point, our coach dropped us off at a spot where there was literally a wine shop. This is El Palacio de los Licores, this beautiful wine shop where one can just get lost in the wines of Spain. Our sommelier immediately took the opportunity to explore Spanish grape varieties, and we bought not just one bottle, but 3. Outside in this glorious day, Salamanca was ours to explore. We had an entire morning to explore on our own, so we really took the chance to walk around Salamanca as much as we could. From there, we wandered around Plaza Mayor, the beating heart of Salamanca, arched and ornate with 88 arches that frame these elegant facades adorned with medallions of kings and conquerors. This square is a Baroque masterpiece and one of Spain's most magnificent squares. It's also really alive, where locals, students and travelers hang around, people sitting in cafes under these arcades and Baroque arches. Being the Golden City, Salamanca has a distinct ancient glow. The entire historic old town shimmers under the Castilian sun, thanks to the sandstone quarried from nearby Villa Mayor. Everywhere you look, there's a golden tone to the city that's so mesmerizing. Walking around these streets, these buildings, make it feel so timelessly cinematic. Really, walking around in Salamanca feels like crossing into another world. We went immediately to the city's most iconic structure, the Cathedral of Salamanca. We found out that the city doesn't just have one, but 2 cathedrals, the old and the new. A breathtaking fusion of centuries, styles and stories. Together, they form one of Spain's most extraordinary sacred complexes, embodying both the medieval soul and Renaissance grandeur of this golden city, with the most intricate carvings you'll ever see adorned in a cathedral. We began our tour in the new cathedral, completed in the 18th century, a work of over 200 years. Its towering vaulted ceilings, intricate stonework, and the magnificent wooden choir are all work of master craftsmanship, fusing Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque throughout the ages. Then we travelled back in time, in 12th century, in the old cathedral, where you can unmistakably tell the difference in style, medieval and Romanesque, preserving a serene world of frescoes and stone, and a truly stunning altarpiece by Nicolas Florentino that will take your breath away. This is an experience coming here and highly worth it, so make it a part of your Salamanca visit. Next to the cathedral, if you have time, do also visit the Museum of Art Nouveau and Art Deco for all of your lovers of art. Salamanca is also home to one of the oldest universities in existence. The University of Salamanca, founded in 1218, was once Europe's intellectual heart, making this university city feels like a living museum in itself. You can feel these centuries-old stones humming with an old academic soul. Today, it's really thrumming with a university vibe, with students bustling about in the regular days. We wandered into historic buildings and university streets, and one facade stood out, sculpted with hundreds of carved stone shells. This is Casa de las Conchas, the House of Shells, one of the city's most iconic and mysterious buildings. It now houses the Public Library of Salamanca. Don't miss its interior courtyard, which is as beautiful as its facade. Then it was time for lunch at Casino of Salamanca, hidden behind an unassuming doorway of Calle Zamora, where we stepped back into the Belle Epoque age of 19th century Spain. This casino was Salamanca's most prestigious private club, now a social and cultural center, hosting exhibitions and events. Today, this hall is our lunch venue, where we indulge in Spanish flavors, with appetizers, delicious main course and wine. And afterwards enjoyed a flamenco performance, where rhythm, passion and movement blending into a feast for the senses in this beautiful venue. That afternoon, we joined our guide for a walking tour of the historic center, tracing the history of Salamanca behind the stones. We learned about Salamanca's pivotal role in European learning, about philosophers, explorers, and poets who once walked the same streets. At the University of Salamanca, one of its most famous features is the plateresque facade, with its marvel of intricate carvings, scholars, coats of arms, and hidden symbols woven into stone. And yes, we found a famous frog carved into the university facade, a centuries-old symbol of luck for students and visitors alike. Nearby, the university walls are covered with historical graffiti and writings, not vandalism, but a proud academic tradition using bull's blood, where students describe Vitor, Latin for victory, symbolizing triumph. On our last hour in Salamanca, we just soaked in the side streets and took a glimpse of the Roman bridge. This was a really great day to encounter Salamanca's golden and layered history. Medieval alleyways, Renaissance courtyards, and Baroque churches tucked between golden sandstone buildings. This golden city will linger in my memory, a perfect contrast to the lush green serenity of the Douro. We went back to Portugal, back to our ship, docked at Barca d'Alva, just in time for dinner, while the Douro outside glowed in the golden hour. This was a joyful day and couldn't be a more perfect celebration of both Spain and Portugal. The next few days on a river cruise, we returned to Portugal and back to where we came from in the Douro. We sailed back from Douro Superior towards the city of Porto. We had an easy and relaxing day, and by afternoon, we arrived once more in Peso de Régua, gateway to many of Douro's most storied wine estates. The golden hour painted everything in amber tones, a fitting prelude to our evening at one of the region's most iconic quintas and one of Douro's most celebrated wine estates, Quinta da Pacheca. Nestled amid rolling vineyards, Quinta da Pacheca embodies Douro quite iconically. To visit this place is a step into nearly 5 centuries of history, deeply rooted in the soil of Portugal's most famous wine region. This is one of the vineyards we visited during a river cruise, and this wine property is just impressive, spanning 75 hectares of vineyards, which we were able to explore a little bit during sunset, under an otherworldly sky, giving us that Wizard of Oz feeling, but with a sprinkle of Douro magic. Quinta da Pacheca is unique as this place is a rare case in the Douro, where a woman's legacy still defines these vineyards. Viticulture began here in the 16th century, but it was in the 18th century when Dona Mariana Pacheco Pereira changed everything. Pacheca is her legacy. Tonight, we get to wine and dine in this place, as Pacheca offers more than wine. This place is also an icon of wine tourism in the Douro, with a winehouse hotel, tasting rooms, and wine event venues like this. We proceeded to our dinner set in one of the cellars, where rustic charm meets refined dining. We savoured exquisite Portuguese charcuterie and cheeses, each paired wonderfully with Pacheca's own wines, from crisp whites to the deep soulful notes of the reds. It was an evening of celebration with music, wine, people, and wholesome country food, another splendid evening celebrating Douro and Portugal. The next morning unfolded in Lamego, one of the region's most graceful and historic towns, located high up in the hills and the slopes of Douro. We went immediately to its most stunning feature, one of northern Portugal's magnificent Baroque landmarks, a sanctuary perched on top of the mountain that overlooks the city of Lamego and the Douro. This is the sanctuary of Nossa Senhora dos Remédios. This place gave us another dimension of life and beauty in the Douro. And unlike the grand cellars and vineyards we visited, this also gives us perspective that there is great architecture in the valley. This sanctuary holds a great resemblance with the sanctuary of Bom Jesus do Monte in Braga, with Baroque staircases flanked with sculptures zigzagging down the mountainside. But this Remedio sanctuary has a longer stairway, composed of 686 steps, which we gladly climbed down, taking our time going through the steps adorned with blue and white azulejos, fountains and statues that all whisper centuries of devotion. Down below, we checked out another place of devotion, the Cathedral of Lamego, which is even older, built in the 12th century. And then we had a nice little reward, a glass of sparkling wine and Portuguese charcuterie at Casa do Presunto. Back on board, life eased back into the gentle Douro rhythm. We gathered for lunch, savouring a hearty roasted pork with the most delicious pepper sauce. Afterwards, the afternoon unfolded softly as we began our sail towards Leverinho. The scenery outside was pure poetry, vineyards giving way to rolling hills, sunlight shimmering on the water, villages perched like whispers along the banks. It was one of those afternoons meant for reflection, a glass of wine in hand, the river doing all the talking, as we enjoyed a gentle wine tasting on the deck. The atmosphere just felt unhurried and warm. That evening, the day came to a delicious close with a chef's dinner, a beautifully curated celebration of the region's wines and flavors. It was one of those nights that captured everything this journey was about, savoring life one sip and one moment at a time. After days sailing through the heart of the Douro Valley, the next day we awoke to the familiar skyline of Porto, the city where a journey had begun and where it would beautifully come full circle. There was something comforting about being back, moored along the banks of Vila Nova de Gaia, with the terracotta rooftops of Porto gleaming across the river. We intentionally had a slower, more leisurely day, beginning late in the morning exploring the World of Wine complex, or WOW Porto, located just right off the Gaia riverfront. It's one of Porto's most exciting and ambitious cultural developments, and a must-visit for anyone passionate about wine, history, and the Portuguese culture. It's a sprawling place with museums, tasting rooms, a wine school, shops, restaurants, cafes, including a chocolate cafe, which we absolutely enjoyed, all located in this cultural district. The greatest wow of this place, though, is undoubtedly its terrace, boasting an unparalleled, unobstructed view of Porto, truly perfect for your snapshot of this picturesque city. We walked along the riverfront, soaking in the views, reminding us how beautiful Porto truly is. And then later, we set out to visit one of Portugal's greatest wine institutions, the Real Companhia Velha, the oldest wine company in the country, established in 1756 under the charter of King José I. Set high above Gaia, the company's cellars hold centuries of history, and walking through them feels like stepping into the very soul of port trade. Massive oak barrels line the dimly lit vaults, their aroma a heady blend of wood, wine, and yes, time itself. Our guided tour traced the evolution of port from vineyard to bottle, revealing how this timeless drink shaped the Douro's destiny. We even got to see and experience their oldest collection of ports at their centuries-old cellar. Then came the tasting in the wonderful tasting room. We had the founder's tour tasting, so we had a lineup of premium ports, all delicious ruby and tawnies, deep amber tones, notes of fig and spice, the quiet brew of heritage. It was a real privilege to taste these special port wines from the oldest wine company in Portugal. Being here, sharing this experience together with Eric and Chris was really special, and to be guided by our professional sommelier Salvador is even more extraordinary. After a cellar visit, we made our way to the Enoteca Bar, perched elegantly by the riverside. Here, Salvador guided us through the company's series wines, experimental creations that pushed the boundaries of tradition. It was a beautiful contrast, centuries-old craftsmanship meeting modern curiosity, all while gazing out at the Douro that had carried those wines, and us on the timeless river cruise. As our voyage along the Douro came to an end, I found myself reflecting on everything this river had given us. Not just the beauty we witnessed, but the feeling it left behind. From Porto's timeless cellars to the stunning vineyard visions along the river, to the wild serenity of the Douro Superior, it's a landscape carved not just by water, but by centuries of devotion to wine, to nature, to life itself. What we took away from this journey was more than memories. It was inspiration. The Douro revealed to us its finest secrets, the poetry of its landscapes, the depth of its wines, the quiet grandeur of this region. And it made us want to share it with others, not as regular tourists, but as travelers truly in the mood for life. That's why we're creating something special, In the Mood for Douro, the river cruise and wine experience with Salvador Sommelier. A hosted journey born from our own exploration, curated with care and authenticity. Together, Salvador and I have handpicked the finest cellars, restaurants and vineyards, each chosen to evoke the true spirit of the Douro.
Well, as you can see, it's already special to be surrounded by vineyards. But with the sommelier, I think, give some special sauce. As a host, for me, it's special to do this. Prepare special wine tastings on board and give a perspective, not only Douro wines, but also wines from all over Portugal. I think this will be one of the best experiences you can have. This experience will be unique, memorable, and one of a kind, I would say.
This isn't just another cruise. It's a premium immersive experience, blending the elegance of river journey with the artistry of wine, guided by a Portuguese sommelier with a great passion for his home country's wines. Before you even step on board, you'll also get a chance to be part of a 3-day pre-cruise sommelier experience, exploring hand-picked vineyards and cellars, tasting exceptional wines and gastronomy, and connecting deeply with the essence of the region. Hosted by yours truly, Janz, creator of the In the Mood for Life, and Salvador Sommelier, this voyage invites you to see, taste, and feel the Douro in the most stunning way and style possible. This river cruise has limited cabins only, so book your spot now. Treat your loved ones, bring your partner, family, and even share this journey with friends. This Douro River Cruise and wine experience with a Portuguese sommelier doesn't happen that often. Scan the QR code on the screen to get more info and get to the booking page. This Douro trip will be unforgettable. And you know what's even better? We will share this trip together, make great memories, and celebrate the most beautiful wine region in the world.